Hey, welcome to In the Boat with Ben TV. What is In the Boat with Ben TV? Well, if you are someone who follows our weekly podcast, we decided that we wanted to do a more condensed version of the topics that we talk about from week to week on the podcast, have a video show, something that's a little bit more engaging, but just really focused. And In the Boat with Ben is all about helping families find a balance between work and pursuing their passions and raising their families from the standpoint of value. And so we talk about topics that center around those things. So today, oh, by the way, I'm sorry, I should have done this right off the bat. I'm Ben, and with me is the lovely Rachel.
Yes.
Today's topic is, does having a family mean giving up on my dreams? A lot of people ask this question because as they start to grow in their responsibilities, as their families grow, they start to realize how difficult it is to pursue their dreams and to do the things they want to do. They often feel guilty that they're pursuing those to the detriment of their family. But they also struggle with, when they set those aside, feeling bitter and frustrated that they're not able to do the things that they really dream of doing. And a lot of people feel like it's got to be one or the other. It's got to be just the family, or it's got to be just the dream. The first thing that you really need to realize when considering whether or not you should pursue your dream when you're raising a family is you don't have to go with the all or nothing approach. Pursuing your dream doesn't necessarily mean going all out and doing everything necessary in order to see that dream come to life. Pursuing your dream may look like a scaled back version of what you would do if you didn't have all of the responsibilities, but it doesn't mean that you can't take steps toward pursuing your dream.
So, what that means for us is that we may not be able to get things done as quickly as other people, or we may not be able to build something as quickly as other people because we only have a certain amount of time in which to do that.
For our schedule right now, we have these little pockets of time. We have some time set aside that's longer, maybe like 4 or 5 hours, but a lot of the pursuing our dreams and building our dreams happens in those 15 minutes here and those 30 minutes there. And those short bursts, even though they don't feel like accomplishing much, they add up over time. And so it's just like when I was a kid, I had to help my dad and my brother build a fence on our property. And we would put in the fence post, and that was really hard. And then we would get the barbed wire and we would tie it onto the thing. And and then we would count 6 paces and we would do the next one. And it just felt like it was taking forever.
Mm-hmm.
But by the end of the day, we looked back and there was a whole fence line that we had finished because we took those little incremental steps. And so I want you to think about pursuing your dream, even in those short bursts of time, those 15 or 30 minutes. I want you to think about those as incremental steps that you're taking toward accomplishing your goals and reaching your dreams.
And we have this idea of people being prolific. We like to think that we could be prolific. And some of us think that when we have a family, because it takes so long and because we have to do so much work in those little pockets of time, we can't be prolific. But I believe that we can still be prolific because what this creating in short bursts of time teaches us is that we need to have a schedule. We need to have our productivity just focused on what we're doing. I mean, we develop such a great focus
Hmm.
by creating in short bursts of time, and then having that just that balance between life and family and our career. So I believe that we can be prolific. It just takes us a little longer to get there.
Yeah, and we're going to talk about that too. The time factor is really huge when it comes to thinking about this the right way. Another thing that happens is there are a lot of people who do put out a lot of content. They do share a lot of their art and their work. And these are people that we look up to. And we think, man, I wish that I could put out as much as that person is doing. I wish that I could come out with an album of music every single year like that artist is doing. And the problem with that is you don't know anything about their circumstances. uh, even if they were in the same circumstances as you, they're a different person, and so you can't assume that because they're putting out as much as they are, you should be able to also and feel bad about yourself. You shouldn't compare your output to the output of others. Compare what you can do against what you have done. So if you haven't done anything to pursue your dream, starting to do something once a month is a huge improvement. So that's where you want to be focused. What am I doing right now? What can I do to get even better, to produce even more in the circumstances that I have, and stop looking at other people?
Yeah, I like to tell people that the greatest competition we have is ourselves, because we're trying to consistently become better and more efficient with the time that we have. And so if we're comparing ourselves to other people, we're not going to feel like we're getting any better. But if we're comparing ourselves to ourselves, like the week before, what did we do the week before? What did we do this week? And just making those comparisons, then we can grow and get better.
Now, it's not always going to be, and if you are raising a family, you totally understand this. Family life works in seasons.
Hmm.
So there are some seasons that seem easier, there are some seasons that seem extremely difficult. And so our dreams do have to conform to this seasonal, and it's really true for everybody. I think we feel it more when we have families because that I mean just as the kids grow, they learn new things, and then they can get into more things, and
Hmm.
but then they become more responsible and uh,
Self-managing.
yeah, self-managing. So with all of these different seasons of life, our dream may uh, be something that we can pursue with a lot of our time, or it may be something that we have to scale back on quite a bit. And so I want you to think about your dream in terms of seasons and be okay with it looking different from season to season.
Yeah.
So finally, the time factor, like we said earlier, is the biggest thing. Because you have responsibilities in a family, that takes a lot of your time. Because you're not able to spend as much time on your dreams, it will take you longer to get there. And that's okay. This kind of goes back to comparing your output to the output of others. You also can't compare how long it takes for you to reach your dream to how long it took somebody else to reach their dream. So if you go into it thinking, you know what, this is going to take some time, and that's okay. The point is not reaching your goal and achieving your dream in the shortest amount of time possible. What really brings you life is the pursuit of your dream. And so as long as you're pursuing your dream, it doesn't matter how long it takes you because you're going to learn and grow on that journey. So how's this beneficial for our families? I hope that we've convinced you that pursuing your dream is something that's necessary, and it is something that you can do even with the responsibility of your family. But I want to talk about how it benefits our families as well. Our kids look up to us as an example for everything. And so when we're pursuing our dreams, we become a tangible example for them of what it looks like to pursue their dreams. We give them permission to dream and to believe that they can achieve the things that they set their minds to. What you can do to help your kids not just see the example, but be a part of it is you can invite them to be a part of your support system. Have conversations with your kids. Let them know what you're doing and why you're spending time on this and what your goal is. And show them something that is bigger than what they can imagine, and say this is what I'm going after and you get to be a part of helping me do that. And if we do that, we not only give our kids permission to dream bigger, but we let them see that they can accomplish things that seem beyond them.
Yeah, and what's cool about that is that our kids learn by our example how to pursue their own dreams. And sometimes they'll even ask to collaborate with us.
Hmm.
So our oldest son is 8, and he and I are writing a book together because he really enjoys writing, but he doesn't quite know all of the mechanics because he's only 8. And so he and I have been brainstorming together and writing together, and it's just a really cool thing that we get to share that example with our children.
So, one of the things we can do as parents to help our children navigate mistakes and gain some experience with them is to actually anticipate situations where they may experience mistakes or failure.